6 months I've been gone, I've rewatched all of Hunter x Hunter, and I can confirm it is and will always be peak.
Can I see you as my crush?
After this rewatch, I found myself agreeing with the general anime consensus that this man Gon is a little psycho. I want to start with looking at the second major arc of the show, because if you don't have Nen in this verse, you might as well go ahead and sell that license player. Anyway, it's 1000% a training arc, as both Gon and Killua will learn how to use Nen here, and on rewatch I had a revelation. Gon is really only here to get revenge on Hisoka for what happened in the 4th phase of the Hunter exam. Now, I can't be mad at Gon for wanting to settle the score with Hisoka, especially after bro almost had me call CPS with the way he slapped Gon to another zip code. But trust and believe, this is not the only time I wanted to call CPS on this 69 god-ass character. Going back to Heaven's Arena, Gon fought through 200 floors and learned Nen, all for a chance to get his get back at Hisoka. But TLDR, it was pretty crazy that Gon spent 4 months training in Heaven's Arena just to spin the block back on Hisoka. Now this comes from the last phase of the Hunter exam, aka the 1v1 phase, in which this man Gon was absolutely wilding because he was too weak to beat Hanzo, but the rules don't allow contestants to kill each other. So this entire fight, Hanzo is no diffing Gon and absolutely rocking his shit. Hanzo even breaks his arm in this fight too, but Gon is too stubborn to quit, and Hanzo's eventually just like, bro, I can't deal with somebody like this, and gives up.
Later.
Gon is so injured from this fight that he misses the rest of the tournament, which is going to be important later. Gon being a psycho in this phase of the Hunter exam doesn't end here. So Illumi, the big brother of Killua, wants him to head home, so he essentially puts Killua in an assassin genjutsu and puts Bordoro on a t-shirt for no reason, which had me feeling bad, like it wasn't even Killua's match and he just straight up killed him. So once Gon wakes up and hears about what happened, he pulls up to Illumi, then grabs him by his wrist, flips him out of his chair, then squeezes the hell out of this man's wrist. And it's not till later on we learn that Gon actually broke this man's wrist. Like, that is wild. And mind you, just like Hanzo, Illumi is stronger than Gon too, so if that man decided to just kill Gon, that, you know, it'd be the end of the show. And there are many other moments in Hunter x Hunter where we see Gon exhibit these traits, but they're all peanuts compared to Now, based on the past couple arcs of the show, we know that Gon has crash out tendencies, and the beginning of the end starts with the death of Kite, which is honestly one of the most heart-wrenching deaths in anime. Now, it starts with Pitou sensing Kite, Gon, and Killua, and with Kite being the GOAT, the second that he got a whiff that Pitou was coming at him at Mach 5 speed, he tries to signal to Gon and Killua that they need to get away from him. And at these supersonic speeds, she immediately takes an arm from him off rip. And once Gon sees Kite's arm laying there, he immediately gets blinded by the rage of 1,000 suns and starts charging up until Killua knocks the goofy out of him and gets him out of there. And to put salt on the wound, they show us Kite's severed head later on. So we as an audience know that one of the coldest characters in the Hunter x Hunter verse has been packed up. But since Killua took Gon and let Kite fight Pitou alone, Gon really believes that Kite is alive. And you gotta remember, this is the same character that spent 4 months training, all because he got punched by Hisoka. So for him to lose somebody who's a mentor and a family friend, well, the next time Gon gets to see Kite, he is literally just a shell that attacks anything that gets too close to him. And I think everybody knew that Kite was dead except Gon. This man could just not accept the fact that Kite was dead. The next pre-crash out moment is when Moro decides to test Gon's resolve and tells him that if he's not convinced about Gon's resolve, he's not going to take him to the raid. And so he told this little demon, attack me as if I were responsible for Kite.
Are you sure about that?
And Gon proceeds to lock in.
Target locked.
And starts getting extremely worked up until Killua puts his hand on Gon's shoulder and was like, that's a lot you're doing there. And Gon really had moral perspiration and starts apologizing and told him, I was really about to kill you. Like, bro, what? And this all leads to so Gon and Killua reach Pitou and see her healing Komugi. And off the cuff, Gon starts getting mad and starts releasing one of the most menacing looking Nen auras in the entire show. So Gon tells Pitou to get away from Komugi and tells them to get ready to tussle, when she just straight up concedes and tells Gon she's not gonna fight because she needs to heal Komugi. The fact that she wants to save someone who she deems precious proceeds to offend Gon to the highest degree. With this double standard, as she killed our goat Kite, then reanimated his corpse to use as a training dummy, she sets off our unhinged MC. So Gon is getting ready to boom Pitou. And Killua, being the voice of reason, stops Gon and tells him to let Pitou heal the girl, in which Pitou breaks her arm to show Gon her resolve. So this stops Gon for a second. But then he's like, nah, I gotta pack you up. I have to for what you did to Kite, and assumes boom position. Once Killua gets Gon to stop, he starts throwing some mad strays at Killua. With that it must be nice energy. Look at these. And man, Killua's face after. One, he got his feelings hurt, and two, at this point he just knows there's no way to take Gon off this ledge. So Gon agrees to wait, and Pitou tried some BS and was like, I need 3 to 4 hours to heal her.
Stop the cap.
And Gon's crazy ass told her, you got 1 hour to get this done. Then assumes the iconic angry waiting position. Once she finishes, they travel to where Kite's body is. Once they find Kite's body, Pitou was low-key and surprisingly super transparent and told Gon straight up, yeah, that man's dead. And after she told him that, Gon goes through the 7 stages of grief in real time. And to add insult to injury, Pitou starts healing her right arm right in front of Gon. Like, that is mad disrespectful. That is not cool. That is not a very cool thing to do. Then after she heals her arm, she tells Gon that she's gonna send him to go hang out with Kite because he's 100% gonna be a problem for the king later on. Honestly, she should have just left the man emotionally distraught and got out of there, because this was the nail in the coffin. Gon starts having this pitch black Nen go everywhere, and then we see Gon go through one of the craziest transformations in anime. When they had him in the manga silhouette too, bro, the animators were going insane. Anyway, Gon looks like a monster, and Pitou doesn't waste a second and tries to impale him just to hit 100% pure air. Then we see him in his full glory, fully maxed out Gon. So then Gon leads her out of the mansion, and as they're walking towards the forest, Pitou decides to try and backstab Gon, which is crazy because it didn't work like a minute ago. Anyway, Gon sees it coming and hits the meanest weave in the universe and boots Pitou to the sky, and once again assumes boom position, then hits her with a can as she's falling back down. And I'm not gonna lie, this fight really was damn near over after 2 hits. So later we see Killua on his way to Gon, and we see this shining light in the background multiple times, and with those context clues we can deduce Gon is hitting her repeatedly, which is really brutal. Had me and everyone else like,
Wow, man. Damn.
and as Killua pulls up, Gon hits her with the final one, thus killing her. And you would think this is the end, but in the Hunter x Hunter verse, post-mortem Nen is a thing. So Pitou's Nen essentially rezzed her body, made it a puppet post-death to try and kill Gon. Pitou's body attacks Gon and tears off his arm, but the way this man used his severed arm as a weapon to pierce Pitou's body and held her down was absolutely insane. Then Gon makes a pocket nuke in where his arm used to be and proceeds to decimate the entire area. And to do this, Gon used all of his Nen potential for his entire life at once, but all of this strain put Gon in a critical state, had him looking like,
Oh my goodness!
and even after he got healed. He literally cannot use Nen anymore. It's crazy because even in the current chapters of Hunter x Hunter in Big 2025, he still can't use Nen. In conclusion, I don't think there's a bigger MC crash out than Gon. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for watching. I wanted to discuss the future of the channel and kind of what that's going to look like, you know, going forward. I'm mainly going to be focused on two kinds of videos. Character videos like the one you just watched, and I also want to start doing anime tier lists to kind of use as a buffer while I work on those more editing intense character videos. So if you have any ideas for a tier list or a character video you want to see, please put them in the comment section below. If I end up using your idea, I will shout you out sometime in that video. Thank y'all so much, and Discord's coming at 30K.